Alright, I originally picked up Shadow Mewtwo specifically to deal with Sceptile, so I'm very familiar with how to approach this matchup. I think part of it depends on which player you're fighting against. If you're fighting the overwhelming majority of Sceptile though, they love to press a bunch of buttons, they love to press Leaf Blade even when it's not going to make contact, so Emolga will help you out a ton against players like that. Eevee can be nice as well. If you want to, basically, it's a momentum-based matchup. Once you win field phase, you want to get in and constantly be doing damage and pressuring it. You can't really zone Sceptile too well, and Eevee is pretty good because it allows you to keep that momentum going, and you can get a lot of damage and rack it up early. Sceptile doesn't really have too many good moves to deal with side Y. Level 2 Blast and even level 3 Blast is very useful against Sceptile. You can really control Sceptile however you want to. When you throw out a back Y, watch out for their forward Y, but if you can throw this out kind of early and then they sidestep, you can forward Y them. And obviously you're going to want to side Y to keep them near the wall. They're going to want to jump a lot. A lot of the Sceptile love this jump X crap. Just when you block this, jump Y away from it. They're going to start throwing this out. Level 3 Blast will get rid of that. Level 2 will also. Really, you just want to be not giving them enough time to throw that out there. These moves are traps. Obviously, you don't want to step in them, but you can whiff punish them if you see them. See, if you look how long it takes for me to block afterwards. So you'll be able to. Also, this move is extremely annoying. It starts up really fast, but if you're constantly sidewalking, it'll whiff, and then that's when you whiff punish it. So really, if you're jumping back with side Y, it can be an issue. But if you're jumping, or if you're jumping back with jump Y, it can be an issue. But if you're jumping to the side with jump Y, then you can honestly just whiff punish this even in the air if you're already jumping. When you see Sceptile go for detect, it's best to do a jumping Y and then flamethrower if they go for the full conversion. If they don't, just kind of like chill out. It's not really that big of a deal. It's only really an issue in duel phase, but in duel phase you have 6x and you have vortex that you can cancel into. And again, if you're right next to Sceptile, they don't have access to this in field phase. So if you want to go for block strings, say into vortex, like say I want to go for this, then it'd be pretty useful because if whatever the crap they're trying to do, whatever armor, leaf blade, or any of that stuff, then you'll be able to go right through it. Now, speaking of leaf blade, Leaf Blade is an interesting attack because Leaf Blade is actually minus 20 in field phase. Minus 16 in duel phase, but minus 20 in field. So, let's see how far away you can be to punish with this. Alright, it seems you can be pretty far to punish with forward Y. Zen Headbutt, however, you're going to have to perfect block. Right, you're gonna need to perfect block for that. But forward Y, just do that immediately and you'll be able to punch. Forward Y starts up in, it should be 17 frames, and that's minus 20 in field phase, so that's important to know. Also, just remember if you're doing jump Ys around Sceptile, even when it's doing that, just float in the air and then come down with Flamethrower. And then again, we'll talk about Pillar, how useful that is in a bit. So really, this is like most of the matchups in the game. Just make Sceptile's attacks whip, chip it down to get his shield low, and then go ahead for a forward Y if you're going to confirm off of a side Y, or to get a whiff punish. It's very straightforward field phase matchup. There's really nothing that Sceptile has that's threatening. If it's anywhere close to you, just jump side Y, and what is Sceptile going to do to you? In duel phase is a lot more threatening because Sceptile has access to this jump Y, which is super dangerous. Now they can do this super low if they do the jump prep, which is Leech Seed prep, I guess it is, with 5A, or they can just jump, and they can jump pretty far when they do this. So you really want to stay out of range of that. Now the thing is, you're going to want to be throwing those level 2 blasts, but if Sceptile preemptively goes for a Leaf Blade, then you can get hit. So really, what you want to be doing is like what every spacing technique that you would normally use against the other characters, isn't that effective against Sceptile. Normally, I would say, hey, if they're whiffing with Leaf Blade, stand here and either block it or stand right outside of it and then whiff punish it. Now, this has a pretty disjointed hitbox. You can't really whiff punish that thing. And if you're just standing around, they'll go for the Giga Drain. And it's extremely hard to react to that when you're looking for all the other moves that Sceptile can do. When you're looking for Jump Y, when you're looking for 5X, when you're looking for Dash Grab, because that Dash Grab is super fast because they can cancel it very quickly in the Dash's animation. So what I like to do is, frankly, get right up in that booty. Get right next to Sceptile. I want to be doing Miracle Eye right in Sceptile's face. Like, I'm not scared. Yeah, Sceptile might grab me, but I really want them to, I want to see what they like to press. Because something that's very interesting is Sceptile has problems with this. Very basic Jump Y. You cross Sceptile up with Jump Y, then all of a sudden, it's 8Y, starts whiffing. It's 8A, just gets hit or it whiffs. It has a problem with that, so in order to deal with that, it has to do preemptive Jump Ys. Now, if it's doing preemptive Jump Y forward, you can whiff punish that depending on how they come down with the 6X. But if they're going backwards, then it's like, oh, they're going back. So you backdash, you throw a pillar, and then they might get stuck in it. But really, you just want to be getting Sceptile to the wall. Because if you get Sceptile to the wall, and let's say they block a shoulder, then no matter if they go for detect, Leaf Blade, try to jump out, doesn't matter. They'll get sliced up by Vortex. So that's where you want Sceptile. You want Sceptile all the way in the corner. You don't really want to be playing footsies that much with it, because anything that's not point blank, Sceptile's going to be trying to do Giga Drain versus Leaf Blade mix up, or it's going to try to jump Y, which is very hard to react to. So watch out for those. If you do get point blank and Sceptile has like frame advantage, or even frame disadvantage, a lot of the time, Sceptile's going to start doing like Jump X, and it's kind of hard to deal with all the options that they have after Jump X. So I like to just do a reflect back, but a lot of people will start doing this. So then you can just backdash. Backdash with Shadow Mewtwo is pretty useful against Sceptile. And you can, if let's say they do a Jump X into another Jump X, then that's when if you backdash, you'll be able to 2YY and whiff punish that. So now, when Sceptile has burst, you really want to stall this out as much as possible, but if you see them throw anything at all, let's say they throw out this, or they throw out like, what's that? That stuff. Those seeds are really annoying. You can Emolga those. If you see it, throw them out. That's what Emolga's for. Any kind of whip like this, you know, you want to be able to throw out Emolga. By the way, you can perfect block the first hit of this in field phase, but it's obviously you're not going to be able to react to it, so it's not really that useful. Now, one other thing though is, if you see Sceptile throw those out, you can actually low stance and you will avoid the sprout. So you have to count like to 3 slowly, or however fast you want to count, just so that you can get the rhythm down. So what I'll do is I like to block or walk around, and then once I'm in it and it's about to sprout, low stance really quickly, and then you'll get away from that. But a lot of Sceptilers are going to realize that you're going to start doing this, and then they're going to start going for crap after. So just be aware of that, throw it out once or twice. But really, you got to be point blank, and don't let them be throwing that stuff out in the first place if you have Emolga. And then if they're jumping backwards while they're doing it, they're jumping forward, you can like punish them coming down. But if they're jumping backwards, that's when you start charging up your level 3 blast, or you throw out that Emolga. You could even pillar them if you brought in Eevee. So yeah, this is a straightforward matchup. Keep Sceptile under the wall, get it to throw out the forward Ys, get it to detect or Leaf Blade, jump Y over those, and whiff punish the really laggy moves that it has in field phase. Chip down its shield, just like most of the other characters. Shadow Mewtwo can run his basic game plan pretty easily against this. And remember to punish Leaf Blade on block since it's minus 20 in field phase. You're going to have to use 2YY to punish Leaf Blade in duel phase. But if you ever, let's say you land something, right? In field phase, you land a flamethrower, you go for a pillar. Doesn't matter if they detect, doesn't matter if they Leaf Blade, doesn't matter what they do. If they turn blue and they start absorbing it, you can go ahead and grab them. And then 6X is also a really good melee against Sceptile. Again, you cancel into Vortex if you see them go blue, and if not, you can teleport back. And then if they try to go for a preemptive Leaf Storm, you can whip punish that. So just keep Sceptile in the corner, really pressure it, and you should have a pretty good time against this character. So that's it for Sceptile, guys. Let's move on to the next.